Hey guys, Jedi here. Welcome back to part 2. I'm not even sure if I titled that last video right. And with some of the comments that I'm getting, I had one from Cold Warrior Dude. I was going to hit approve and I hit the wrong button on my phone. So if you feel free to comment that again, I didn't mean to cut you off there. Basically, this video is not which is better, it's which is best for me. So I'm giving you pros and cons of both the LM4 by KWA and the WE. Okay, now one thing about the WE and the differences out of the box is that KWA has stock steel internals. Okay, the one thing that is not steel is that buffer lock right there. That is aluminum. A good friend of mine, Booby M4H, put in a real steel buffer, and I kind of told him I thought what was going to happen, and lo and behold, it did. It smashed through and broke a bunch of stuff that he had to fix and repair. The WE, on that matter, that is a steel buffer lock, and it's beefier, it's thicker, it's more along the real steel line. The thing about the WE, guys, is stock. Okay, let's talk about stock. Out of the box, the internals of the KWA are by far better than the internals of the WE, with the exception of the buffer lock. Okay, now the bolt, in my opinion, other than the bolt face being plastic on the WE, let's get this thing out of here so I can show you what I'm talking about. See how it's all plastic there on the loading nozzle, what we call the bolt face? The thing about the WE is, you see this roller bearing on top? Okay, there's no drag. You got the roller bearing on the top of your hammer right there, and the roller bearing on the top of the bolt. This makes for a more fluid cycle. There's no drag coefficient going on. It's just a smoother shooting gun, and that can be nothing more than just, that's awesome. Okay, now on the KWA, let me get back here because I got that tactical charging handle on there. Here we go. Now, this is a steel boat, a steel body boat. And I'm going to tell you something, in my opinion, just because this boat, the whole boat is steel, does not mean it has a better recoil than the WE. A lot of things go into effect here. One, you've got drag coefficient on the top. You see right here on top of that gas tube, that scratching around a little bit? Okay, that's coming from where it's rubbing the top of the charging handle when it's cycling. Another thing that a lot of people mistake on the KWA is that it has a metal nozzle. It does not. This only part that's metal on this nozzle is right here. That's it. Everything else is plastic. Now, the one thing about the KWA that's better than the WE is the roller bearing on top of the hammer. You see how wide that is? That basically means that on the bottom of your bolt of the KWA, this whole area right here has a roller bearing making contact, which means it wears a lot less. That edge goes to the KWA. Whereas the WE has a smaller roller bearing on top, and it has less coverage right here. But the thing about the WE is, with this roller bearing on top and the one on the bottom, you'll notice, I did a video once before, it's hard to see with that flash, but that is a straight asymmetrical line. It's a perfect straight edge where it's wearing. So in other words, this bolt is not in there doing this number when it's going back. Everything is tight in its tolerances, and it moves very smoothly. Now, another reason why I believe that the WE has better felt recoil, one, it's hard to perceive felt recoil by feel because a lot of factors go into that. One, whether or not you're leaning more towards a KWA or your distaste for a WE will definitely in the back of your mind tell you, hey, this one doesn't kick as hard. You're automatically going to want to give the edge to your favorite gun or your favorite maker. This buffer spring right here is KWA's buffer spring. This buffer spring is the WE. Now, the WE has looser coils and is longer, which means when this bolt cycles back into this spring, it gets more of a travel, which will equate to better recoil. This one has a tighter one, which means your bolt will not travel as far back before the spring kicks it back forward, which will equate to lesser felt recoil. Now, this is the KWA buffer, and this is the WE stock buffer. Now, this stock buffer is the exact dimensions 1:1 scale to a real steel. It's made of the same material. The only thing missing is the counterweights inside. So that's another plus for realism for the WE. And both of these buffer tubes weigh exactly the same. Now, here we have a real steel buffer spring from a Colt M4. Okay, can you tell the difference in the thickness and the gauging? Now, you can run a real steel buffer spring in a WE and get the same felt recoil as you're getting from the stock KWA. It's weird, I know, but it's true because I've tested it. This one's like 1.5 ounces. This the WE is like half an ounce, and the KWA weighs in at about 0.7 ounces on that. Guys, to be honest with you, I mean, I'm just going to be straight up, you know. Yes, the WE externals are way better, in my opinion, than the KWA's externals. It's more realistic. Okay, now your internals, you do have some stuff in here that is not steel. A couple of, in my opinion, one of the most crucial parts is that buffer lock. It needs to be steel, and Booby can show you how to make one. This gun right here, the WE, you take out these screws in the front, and that one there. Remove your selector switch on this side, and I had a BB in there. Isn't that funny? But you take that out, and you take your pins out, and you remove the trigger box. $125. You buy one from RA Tech. You slide it in. You tap in your pins. You put all your screws back, and now this gun internally is the same, if not better, than this gun. That's the only difference, and we upgrade our guns anyway, right? The only difference between these two internals is you have to upgrade these where these come stock. So, which gun is right for me? Well, if you're not going to want to do the tech work and you're not going to want to learn how to work on it, you definitely don't want a WOC by GMP. You don't want an Inokatsu. You don't want a KJW, and you don't want a WE. What you want is the LM4. And after a while, I don't know how much more time it's going to take before you see a lot of aftermarket parts come out for this gun. KWA is notorious for being proprietary on certain things, and I don't see it happening anytime soon. So this gun is more a plug and play, whereas the WE is more for the person who wants to upgrade it and make it into what they want it to be. The WE bolt, RA Tech makes a CNC aluminum loading nozzle, a full metal loading nozzle, which will make this bolt far superior to this bolt because you only got metal there and plastic. Whereas this one, once you upgrade it, you'll have a full metal loading nozzle, and you have the added effect of having this roller bearing on top and the rolling bearing on top of the trigger. And I got to tell you, if you've never pulled back the charging handle on a WE, it is 9 times different than it is on any other GBBR. The WE-M4 is unreal realistic. It's so smooth. There's no drag, there's no bind, there's no wobble, there's none of that. It's just precision, and they did an excellent job. And hats off to them. The KWA also, for its price point, is an excellent GBBR. It's just whether or not you feel like that you have the ability to or will have the want to do upgrades on this one or with this one. Okay, now on the externals, you have to decide whether or not you can live with that. I can't live with that. I'll change it eventually. I don't know to what, but I will. I don't like it, and that's just me. The WE's fit and finish on its M4 body is just incredible, and it's way more realistic. Now, another user had asked me why I have my scope mounted on the rail and the upper receiver. That's simply because I have old eyes and eye relief, and that's where I set it. This is an airsoft rifle. You're definitely not going to want to do anything like that with the real steel because there's going to be a lot of movement there with the recoil. But this is the coolest thing ever, guys. The coolest thing ever. This Troy rail, let me get that charging handle out. You see right there, you see that little, let me lay it down. I got to move everything out of the way. I'm trying to do this one-handed, and I'm sorry. You see this little nub right there? Once that barrel nut is on there, this slides down in grooves that are set on the barrel nut, which gives you stability. This goes against this, so this will not roll in any shape, form, or fashion, and the tolerances are so tight, it's unbelievable. So this is a rock solid rail from Mad Bull. Absolutely love it. It's a little thin for my taste. I mean, not as big around the circumference for like a handguard type situation. It suits itself very well to the DMR platform, but I absolutely love it, and I can't see myself changing it anytime soon. So there you have it. Basically, what it boils down to is to how much upgrade you're willing to do. We all know you're going to upgrade the guns anyway. We all know you're going to do the externals. We all know that eventually you're going to want to do the internals. But the beautiful thing about a WE is that RA Tech has gone out of their way to make a drop-in system. So when you do this versus like a WOC, you have to put individual parts in, put in individual springs. These are all solidly encased in a steel box. So you take one out, you slide one in. How easy can that be? And what you come up with is a weapon that is, one, exteriorly beautiful, two, you have internal toughness of the KWA, and you're good to go. And you have the realism versus the non-realism, and no aftermarket stuff for internals for you to change or twist or turn things around the way you want them to be. WE is very, there's a lot of OEM parts out there for it. I prefer this gun because I like to take them over my KWA. I do love the KWA, don't get me wrong, it's a great gun, but for anyone to say that that gun is stellar way better than this gun is just totally false. Even out of the box, the WE internals are strong enough to last you a good long time before you even have to worry about putting new ones in. And eventually, these parts, just like any other machine, will wear down just like anyone else, and then you're going to have to rebuild it. It's going to happen. So it's totally up to you and your level of expertise and what you want to do and what you don't want to do. But in my opinion, and using both rifles, the WE does not have a steel bolt. It's a lighter weight bolt, but where it shines is the fact that it is such a smooth cyclic action. Two, it has, in my opinion, a better recoil spring, buffer spring, which helps you on your recoil. And I like this realistic buffer. And I believe that all these things combined, the lighter weight of the bolt, moving on the lesser spring, getting full travel, then back up, equates to better recoil. And I think, scientifically, if you look at it that way, versus all these other things, it's a lot better. You do have a heavier steel bolt, but you have a heavier buffer spring right here, and this buffer does not go all the way back to the back of the weapon. It just does not. It travels about halfway. So there you have it. And, it's like I said, in my opinion, this gun cycles smoother. This gun has better recoil than the KWA. The KWA shines because out of the box, everything's done for you. So I thank you for watching. Hopefully this will help you make an informed decision. If you disagree with me, that's fine. But, it's to each his own. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.